Well, George, let's have an interesting chat this evening here at training. Let's go back to last season first of all. It was a fantastic season, wasn't it? Really, I mean, one of the best cup runs we've ever had. Television audiences were amazed by Kettering Town. We runners up in the league, and then that heartbreak of losing in the final. But overall, you must have been delighted with the season.
Yeah, delighted, but heartbroken. Gutted. I couldn't drive to the club for a few weeks after because it was just so raw. So proud of the achievements, absolutely. I'm so proud that we gave the fans nights that they probably never forget, performances that they'll never forget, and a club to be proud of, and actually a club that's challenging at the right end of the table. So yeah, from a personal point of view, absolutely, it's been incredible as the first year of ownership that we're, great cup run, etc. But yeah, sour that it didn't go the way I feel like it should have gone and achieved what we should have achieved.
And then 2 weeks later, the manager goes. That must have been quite a shock.
Yeah, it was a shock, and to be honest with you, it was. There was no rumblings beforehand. There was no, Lavs asked if his job was safe, and of course it was safe. Of course we wanted to talk about things and say about improvements from this year that we can take into next year. And I was just a little bit surprised when, when we offered him an extended deal. Actually, he had 8 months left on his contract. And we offered better terms as well, which we didn't need to do, but we acknowledged the work that he's done, and we wanted to show him solidarity as well, because you've got to remember he came in February, so his contract would have ended in February, so we extended that and obviously gave him better terms as well. But I think I don't know, maybe the emotional roller coaster of it, it's pretty exhausting. I know I was exhausted. So look, we've left on good terms, and I wish Lavs the very best of luck, and what he's done at the club was phenomenal. But yeah, it just wasn't meant to be. He decided to walk, and that's it. That's part and parcel of football. We all know football well enough to know that these things can happen. And whereas I thought I was going to have an easy summer, it was spent advertising, recruiting, interviewing, which has been a tough task. It's been really tough.
Yeah, we'll come on to pre-season, and we'll talk about Simon a little later. But this time last year, you announced, or at the last fans forum, that the lease was going to be signed in 2 weeks. That's a year on. That hasn't happened. The club must be suffering a little bit with that because of grants that we can apply for and other funding that we've not been able to process, i.e. for probably a 4G pitch or a stand. It must be a concern.
Honestly, not really. You get rounds of funding. So the next round of funding is July. So yes, we've missed, for example, this period of funding now. And it's not a case of you can apply for the last funding and then apply for this funding and the next funding. It doesn't work like that. But I appreciate that concern. I honestly didn't think it'll take a year to get this sorted out. It doesn't help that solicitors have changed and stuff like that. But it's so intricate. The lease, you've got to remember that there's Acorn that are on site as well. You've got the electric mast that's there as well, which I didn't realise that played such a part in it. But we just want to make sure that we got all the terms right. At the end of the day, we are looking at a 50-year lease, and dare I say it, we're close. But we really are close.
Another 2 weeks?
No, don't quote me on that now. But yeah, honestly, we are close, and it's in the solicitor's hands now. And I want to thank Mick Coe. He's been absolutely brilliant, supporting me along this journey, as well as everybody else. But in terms of the lease, he's been brilliant. So yeah, we just want to make sure that we get it right and not be stung in 5 years' time or 10 years' time. So it's a 50-year lease on top of the 17 that we were going to have. So it then gives us a fabulous foundation to really kick on and invest. And actually, if you look at it, we've invested a lot of money anyway, regardless of the lease. So,
You probably can elucidate on that.
Yeah. The pitch improvements have been massive. The bar improvements have been massive. It's one of them ones you don't shout from the rooftops and say to people, "Hey, we've done an EICI report on the building, and that cost £5,500. But that then gives you a real insight into what the club needs. And there was £76,000, £75,000 worth of electrical work that needed to be done. Some critical. Some, that we can work on a 4-year roadmap. which we've included in the roadmap. So I think last year we spent £21,000 on just the electrical work. The bar renovations has come up to nearly 75,000. The community centre is something that I wanted to invest in at my own pocket, but that's going to be beneficial for the club. The ground improvements, the drainage improvements, and just some things that you probably wouldn't see. I think me and Rob, who obviously is the club accountant, would tell you I think 76, 77, 78,000. 66, 67, 68,000 was spent on things that we just didn't foresee. So plugging holes, sorting this out, and that come to about 65,000. So we're hoping this year we won't have to spend that kind of money.
So that's where some of the FA Cup money gone. Fans are always asking where the money's gone from the FA Cup, because we must have made a tremendous amount of money with that, but it could be eaten up quite quickly, I suppose. Yeah,
I mean, look, people don't see the £26,000 police bills. People don't see the £10,000 police bill from the Northampton game. People don't see the police bill from the Doncaster game. So that's already £36,000. £5,000 was against Banbury last game of the season, and they had 130 fans.
Ridiculous.
So people don't see all of that. But if I'm always here, ask me the question, and I'll be open and as transparent as I can with you guys. But people don't see that, and we had, whether it's right or wrong, but we promised the boys 20% of the FA Cup takings. Maybe
10 this year.
So maybe that gave them the boost that they needed against Northampton Town. But 20% of what we made, that's a lot of money. So the boys were lucky enough to go to Dublin at Christmas, all paid for through their own hard work, and then they got to go to I can't remember now if it was Ibiza at the end of the year, and that was the FA Cup money that they made. So when you take away 20% of the earnings, when you take away the police bills and stuff like that, yes, there is money there, but it's all been pumped back into a football club. We're really thankful to say the bank account is in a healthy spot right now. So if there was, God forbid, a catastrophe or something like that we can capitalise on that. We have to be ready for VAT bills and squad playing bills, etc. So although not all of that money might be spent, we're quite healthy in terms of a bank balance. So again, I won't allude to what that is, but these are the things that people don't see. But ultimately, it's my responsibility to make sure that this football club is safe, run safely, run properly, because ultimately it's going to fall on my head if it doesn't. So yes, we all want great things, but also need to, as my dad would say, save for a rainy day.
Indeed. There have been rumblings, and obviously Gary and Sarah left this week. There have been rumblings of other people stepping down from their roles. Is that a concern? Have you got somebody in line to replace these people?
I'm sure there'll be people who take over Gary. Look, Gary and Sarah have been fabulous. I mean, Sarah was scared the first day I walked in, and I remember I had to give her a big cuddle and say to her, what you worried about? And she thought her job was gone because I'd walked in, and I said no. She's been fantastic this year. Gary's been fantastic this year. Look, nobody likes change, and one thing I did say at the start of the year is that I'm going to give everybody a clean slate, regardless of what people have told me to watch out for this person, or
including us.
You guys are great. You guys are brilliant. And Gary and them guys have been great, and I was very surprised, just as much as anybody was, that he decided to walk the other day. I gave him a call straight after and I said, are you sure? Do you want to think about it? And he said, look, if I don't do it now, I never will. And he goes with our best wishes. It's as simple as that. I can't force people to stay here.
Well, some have just stepped down from their roles, haven't they? They've not left the club. Doug probably is one of them, isn't he? But they're still around. They're still going to cause you a pain.
No, you got to remember these guys are volunteers, and without this football club, and I said it from day dot, I said I've inherited a unbelievable committee and an unbelievable board as well. People's circumstances change, and look, I could have a really selfish Graham Starmer who turns around and says, no, I want to keep my title, but he's acknowledged that he can't give the club at that time that it needs. So he said, I'll step down to the committee board, and I love that. And if it evolves where he comes back up again, brilliant. Same with Doug. We've all got. I'm a volunteer. I know how hard it is. So. You guys are the lifeblood of this club, and I'd be more worried if people left, as in the Dougs and the Grahams of this world. So stepping down is totally different to people leaving. So we're in really, really good hands.
You've been here a year now, let's say, and how does it feel? I mean, from when you walked in the door the first time, you had a season. It's been an unbelievable season, hasn't it? Things have happened. You said new changes, etc. Is it what you thought it was going to be?
It's been better. It's been emotional. I honestly thought promotion was done. And that's not me being complacent. I remember Fabian and the guys telling me stop counting points after 5 games, and I literally was, because I was totaling up points. We shouldn't have dropped points there, we shouldn't have done it, and we was in a great position. It's been a great year. If you said to me before, would you take it? Yes, but because we were so close, that's why it hurts. That's why it really hurts. And let's not forget, I said 2 years. Let's try to get out of this league in 2 years' time. And I generally feel if we get out of this league, not in my tenure, would you see this club coming back down into this league? And that's no disrespect to it. It's a wonderful league. It's a competitive league. We have no divine right to get out of this league, but we are a big fish in this small pond, and we want to get out. But listen, what a season! What an unbelievable season!
Let's fast forward now to today. Let's say we've appointed, well, not today we didn't appoint, but Simon Holyhead was appointed. It seemed to be a long time for him to actually sit in the manager's chair, didn't it? But what qualities did you see in Simon over the other people that applied for the job?
We had over 100 applicants. We had managers with Premier League experience come to us, and that's a credit to the football club. They wanted to be associated with the club, with the project. One thing that me and Fabian said, we really want somebody who's got knowledge of this league. And actually, when you look at the way, because me and Fabian, we would analyse every game and be like, God, they were hard to play against. And Banbury were one of them teams, and actually they took 4 points off us last year. And just seeing the in-game changes that they made against us, how they nullified our threats, because we had loads. They had the best defensive record in the league. For me, one of the biggest things was, regardless of what you've done in your career, is having knowledge of this league, having a black book of players that you can say, right, I can call upon these guys from here. And I think, in years gone by at Kettering, and I don't want to name names, you've had probably southern coaches who've maybe come up to Kettering who maybe didn't know the area, didn't have the players know-how. So we felt like there's real value in having somebody who knew the league. And Simon, not only is he an exceptional coach, not only has he brought an unbelievable backroom staff with him. I'm talking psychologists, I'm talking guys who are really, really detailed and anal about their recruitment process. The reports that they bring back, it's incredible. For me, it's actually probably too advanced for this level. But as I say to everybody around the football club, let's behave like a club that's in step 2. So when we do go up one day, God willing, we're behaving like that club, and we're already ready to be stepping into that club there. So Simon, like a lot of wonderful candidates, we can only obviously pick one, but we thank everybody who applied. Really kind of blown away by it.
Player recruitment, we've got 9 players that have officially signed. I know there's more involved. It must be frustrating we can't announce some of these players, but how is player recruitment going in general?
Really difficult. I think people look and they think, we want this and we want that. So the demands are incredible. I think we also got to look at some of the teams in our league and listen, fair play, if that's what floats your boat and that's what your business model is. They then compare us to them teams who are spending incredible amounts of money, and we're kind of competing with that. But no, listen, everybody who's here now are here because they want to be here. Everybody who's left the club, they've wanted to leave the club, and I'm like every fan of this club. I wouldn't want anybody here who hasn't got their heart in this project to be here. We've still got 4 weeks to go, 5 weeks to go, so we're comfortable. I think we're probably a striker, a midfielder, and a couple of defenders away, but we're calm. We're absolutely calm, yeah.
Let's talk about your ambitions for this year and this season. You've got some initiatives going on around the ground with improvements going on. Probably you can enlighten us a few on those. Yeah,
look, one thing I noticed straight away was the club was actually so reliant on matchday funds, and a club like Kettering shouldn't be reliant on matchday funds. The matchday fund should actually be a bonus on top of 6 days worth of trade at the football club. We've got wonderful facilities here. We've got now a state-of-the-art bar. We've got a hospitality suite upstairs. We've got a boardroom. We've got a gymnasium. We've got education classes. We've got wonderful fields. We've got great space out on the front as well. So we're really trying to capitalise on bringing more footfall to the football club, getting people to know that there's a football club that lives in Burton, and trying to bring more trade to the club and not just rely on match days. We're really blessed that we've got unbelievable crowds, and we did last year, but for me that should be a bonus. So everything that we're working on at the moment, the community centre, the bar, the hospitality, trying to get more people to have their office meetings at the club, etc. We wanted it to be a place that they can be proud of and say, I'd like to kind of invest into the football club. So that's the kind of work we're doing at the moment. I'll elaborate on the community centre. Yeah. What a romantic story. It's on Rockingham Road. We've spent about £75,000 on the renovations there. It looks incredible. and we are going to have a first of all, we're going to have an open day where we can invite people just to kind of have the final clean up and clear up, and then we're going to have an open day, which again it's going to protect the club for the next 17 years, because that's a lease. So we're proud to have won that tendering process, but the money that will be generated from that community centre will go back into the football club. So again, we're thinking outside the box and saying, well, we can't just rely on bar sales. The Akhtar pitch as well. The investment we've made in the searches and the boreholes, and money that we've spent with JPP and Toby Heath has been fantastic with us. We're £35,000 light of the final searches before the council give us the green light. They've given us the green light. It's just we've got £35,000 worth of searches, which we won't do until obviously the football season starts.
So basically you're here for the long haul then, there's no I'm going to go tomorrow.
No, I'm here. Look, as I said, look, the day affects me or my family, I'll be gone. I love this football club. Last year, I think I checked on Man United's results twice.
Who?
Yeah, exactly who. Yeah, so, Kettering is me, and I'm desperate, just like the average fan, to really take this club up to where it needs to be. And I'm gutted, I'm heartbroken about last year. The resources we had, the players we had, for me, it was a failure. And that's not disrespecting anybody. We had games in hand, we had points in hand, and we're hoping to go one better this year, and that's got to be the minimum aim this year.
Brilliant, thank you, George, for that. I know we've probably gone a little bit longer than normal, but some of these things needed asking. All I can say is let's hope we have a great season. I'm sure with you at the helm we will do.
Yeah, no, thank you. Look, the only thing I would ask of the fans is get behind the project. I know there's been a lot of rumblings online and stuff like that, but listen, we need that energy inside the ground. I mean, if you look at the national stats the other day, we came 41st in the league attendances, and we need that support. We need that support to compete. So come and get behind the boys. Come and get behind Simon, the manager. Don't shoot him down before we've even started. Like, he's a wonderful manager. We've got wonderful players coming. You've got a wonderful backroom. You've got a wonderful owner. You've got a wonderful sporting director. You've got wonderful people at the football club. Our thoughts and aims for this football club are probably more than you can imagine. It really is, and we need your support.
Thank you, George.
Yeah, thank you very much.